Hey vinyl community, Mike, the Aural Retentive here. I have some items today. Probably could have done that before I started filming. First is a rare book review. I saw this book at a local bookstore. I'd never seen it before. It's written by Eric Spitznagel. Of course, they don't show it like. So this book is called Old Records Never Die. And so I, of course, I'm like, oh, record, right? So it says, memoir of one man's search for his lost record collection. And I was like, oh, it seemed pretty, not a huge volume by any means. But as I was reading it, basically he talked about, back in the day he needed money and sold a bunch of his records, or all of his records basically. And, now years and years later, he's kind of like an entertainment writer, and he's interested in getting his records back. But the premise of this is that he wants his actual records back. The actual records that he owned. So it talks about, would he even recognize them? And, he had a Bon Jovi album that he had an old girlfriend's phone number written on. A Replacements album where he used to hide his weed, and a few others. And so the whole book is him going back to where he sold most of his records and finding out that the record store didn't exist anymore, but that the brother of the guy who owned it also had a record store. And so he goes there and tries to kind of con his way into looking at the records that guy has in storage. And, ends up, he finds some of them. So as a story, itself, I could take it or leave it. It did have some kind of pithy, record lover statements in it that kept me going. I'm like, yeah. But really, it's a memoir, right? And so it's more a memoir than it is a book about records. It just happens, it could be anything that he's collecting. I mean, there's a lot of vinyl stuff in here that record collectors will like, but it's more of a personal story, right? And it kind of goes off the rails at the end, in my opinion. So I'm not sure I would recommend this book if you're interested in only reading about the records themselves. But if you're interested in a memoir about a guy who is a record collector and trying to find old stuff, then maybe. Perfect combination of a vinyl completist's dream and nightmare. Memories are far more indelible when married to the physical world, and Spitznagel proves the point in this vivid book. We love vinyl records because they combine the tactile, the visual, the seeable effect of age and care and carelessness. When he searches for the records he lost and sold, Spitznagel is trying to return to a tangible past, and he details that process with great sensitivity and impact. So there you go. That is directly from the back cover. So check it out if you're, interested. I don't read a lot of music books, but this one really caught my eye, clearly, so I read it. All right. That was the Critics Corner, right? Okay. So, it's been a while since I made a video, largely because my summer is out of control, right? So, I have 3 sets of records to show, and we'll start off with, I sold another vinyl portrait, so I went down to where I pick up my favorite discount stuff, and actually had just been down there recently and gone through the discount stuff, so I'm like, well, this time I'll look for some Hipgnosis stuff. And that's what I got, of course. Most of these I have listened to. Not the actual vinyl itself, but I listened to it on Spotify while I was at work. So this first one, this is Genesis, Wind and Wuthering. Oh boy. We'll put it back in the sleeve. So this is clearly not the original sleeve. So I don't know if there was anything awesome on the sleeve or not, but oh, my bad. There you go. Original sleeve. Old Genesis. So what can I say about this? It has its moments. I don't know. It's just not for me. Maybe because I'm really more familiar with Phil Collins' Genesis, and more poppy, and this is kind of slow and really proggy, I guess you could say, right? But I listened to it, and it's not that I wouldn't listen to it again, but this is not going to be my go-to album, Wind and Wuthering, right? Don't know where to put this. Over here. So then I also picked up this one, Genesis, The Lamb Lays Down on Broadway. Now, someone I knew had this once before on vinyl, and I checked it out. And parts of it I really liked, and parts of it I didn't get. So, of course, this is the one that's like, it's like a whole story, right? The whole album is a story, and Hipgnosis used all these pictures to help tell the story of the guy. Is that the original? Oh, original sleeve, cool. So, also, I noticed right away these graphics are very similar to what they did for the Pink Floyd stickers and some of the Alan Parsons stuff. So, you start noticing kind of a theme, right? Ooh, clunk. No, that's not fitting, but so I listened to this again, and I prefer this one to the Wind and Wuthering, but still, it's not something I'm going to be going to. Yeah, but I mean, it's good. It's just, I don't know. Please don't send me a hate mail. Genesis rocks, and you're an idiot, So then we picked up some more Wishbone Ash. So this is No Smoke Without Fire. Not the original inner sleeve, darn it. Oh, lyric sheet, so I don't know. So on the back cover we got a bunch of ears, right? Well, I guess that's eye, mouth, eye, ear. Same as the cover. And this one's pretty good too. I mean, Wishbone Ash, man, it's like they were like this close to like really connecting all the pieces and just really hitting it. But each one of the albums, it's like some of it's really good and some of it's kind of mediocre. I don't know. This was not one of my favorite ones. I think this is a later one in their collection. Then we have this one, Wishbone Ash Pilgrimage. Nice Hipgnosis wraparound, right? Cover. And just chock full of pictures on the inside. I didn't actually see this one. Yep. Let's see right there if I can zoom it in. Cover. Yep. Cover design and photography by Hipgnosis. This one I thought was actually pretty good. And this is older, so maybe maybe they fell prey to in later years to trying to be too experimental or whatever. This is more kind of straight ahead stuff. So I like this one. Then we have Alan Parsons. This is Ammonia Avenue. Some NH3 Avenue. So this one I have not listened to, but I do like this picture on the back of. Guys like face down in the piles, dirt piles, right? Alan Parsons kind of the same way for me. Like some of it's really good. I mean, like I remember when I was in high school, there were Alan Parsons songs on the radio like all the time. And there's always like 2 or 3 really great songs on each album, and then the rest of it's kind of. Eh. So I've never listened to this one. I have no idea. Prime time, don't answer me. One good reason since the last goodbye. I like that picture though. It's really cool. When you think about it, it's really just this, right? And then they duplicated it and turned it sideways. Pretty cool. And last but not least, Bad Company. Pretty plain as far as covers go, right? And on the back is just the info. And inside you got this kind of soft focus, foofy on the edges kind of picture of the band. Very similar to the Pretty Things album. This is terrible. But this is, I was hoping to find this one. I mean, it's not like it's rare, right? I mean, it's Bad Company, right? But I never seem to run across this first one. So I saw it, and I'm like, that one's coming on with me. Bad Company. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more Hipgnosis covers. From that batch. And as a kicker, I bought Blue Oyster Cult Secret Treaties. This is one of my favorite Blue Oyster Cult albums. I remember picking this one up back in the day. I love Don't Fear the Reaper, right? And my friend Jeff turned me on to that one. And I'm like, Blue Oyster Cult is awesome. And then I picked up the live one that's only one album, which I can't remember right now. But I love that one too. And so I went out and picked this one up. And I'm like, this is the weirdest cover. I'm like, what is this? You know, the plane, which is evidently an ME-262. So now, you know, then it all made sense. But these songs are just weird enough that just strange stuff. And it's got a strap, you know, Career of Evil, Dominance and Submission, Harvester of Eyes, Flaming Telepath, Astronomy. It's good. I never noticed until today that there's like a very light group of people over here, and skull for the pilot. So this is one of the Blue Oyster Cult albums that I didn't have, and I'm like, I need to have that. So got that one too. So that was it from that batch. So then I went to Kalamazoo for the opening. My daughter opened a cat cafe in Kalamazoo. And it was the weekend before the official opening, so we went down there. And, you know, helped her get... No, we didn't help, but we were there. She had people coming in, and we kind of just hung out and played with the cats and whatnot. So while we were there, I said, hey, if we get a chance, let's run down to Greenlight Records. So Greenlight Records is a record store in Kalamazoo, and I had stopped there one time before when we delivered Abby to Kalamazoo, I believe. Or when visited her after she moved in. So it looked like we weren't going to have time to stop. But as we were going to the hardware store to pick up some stuff, She's like, hey, we're passing. You want to stop by quick? And I'm like, I'll be in and out. I swear to God. So, tell me when we're out. Okay. They're all soul.
I'm gonna need you to pick one up and go.
I already did. You can ask her. It was probably 10 minutes tops. So I just dove in, right? I went to the used stuff and I went to the A's and I found Argent in deep. So this is one of the Hipgnosis covers that I think is really, really cool, right? So it's the guy in the pool. It's another guy, somebody swimming over here. And then you flip it over and it's, you know, the rest of the band supposedly jumped in and like one of them couldn't swim or something like that. I don't know, but so, yeah, this is a Hipgnosis cover and I was like, oh my God, Hipgnosis cover, I gotta get it. And what was it? $6.99. So, Argent, in deep. I have not listened to this. So I'm gonna have to probably check that out today. I'm downstairs in the music room today. I was outside weeding for like hours, and so now I'm sitting for a while trying to recuperate. So that was Argent in deep Hipgnosis cover, right? So that one, and then I came across this one. So this is Richard Wright, Wet Dream. This is called. There you go. Sticker says it all. Can you read it? Pink Floyd keyboardist. So this is kind of going along with the water theme, right? With Argent and jumping in the pool. Oh, I got this one where he's, which is the top? Okay. So he's by the pool, right? Picture of him there, somebody swimming. And then the other side is more pool. In a boat, so. Yeah, I haven't listened inside there, but I wanted to hear this one. So I've been listening to a lot of Pink Floyd solo stuff. Gilmore stuff, and I've been digging it. So when I came across this one, because I did like the A section, right? And I started flipping through the B's, and I'm like, oh, I got to go somewhere else. So then I went down to the end thinking I could find, wondering if I could find the last Wishbone Ash album I think I need. And I came across this one. $12.99. Pretty reasonable for this one, I think. So I picked that up. And then just for fun, I flipped through their $1.99 section. I came up with this one. Van Morrison Wavelength. I've seen this one a bunch of times, and I've looked at it, and there's not one single song on here that I know. So normally I would just put it back, and I'm like, yeah. But I actually brought this home and put it on, and even though I don't know these songs, I mean, his voice is just, you know, he could sing a menu, and you're like, oh, that's awesome. So, well worth it. $1.99. Then, how's my battery doing? Oh, 10 minutes. I'm almost out of... It's always something. Either the battery dies or I run out of space. So I got 10 minutes before my battery dies. So I'm going to show these. And these are albums that everybody knows anyway. So my mom's friend had a box of records and was offering them up for $1 a piece. And so I flipped through the box and pulled out the stuff. Maybe some stuff I would not maybe necessarily look for in the record store, but for $1, I'm like, gotta have it. So I picked up Stage Fright by the band for $1. Capital. Okay. You know, I have a few Bob Dylans, and I don't really collect Bob Dylan. But I guess this is a pretty good one. So pick it up for $1. And these records are all in like really pretty good shape. And even if they're not, they're $1, right? This one I picked up and I looked at it. I'm like, no, probably not going to get that one. And I forgot to put it back. So I have no idea what this album is. blues project. No idea. So let's check that one out. And then, you know, everybody has to have Iron Butterfly, right? So I got that one for $1. And then he had some Janis Joplin. You know, I've got a copy of Pearl, of course, like everyone does. But I actually don't know if I've ever seen this one. What is this? I got them old Cosmic Blues Again Mama. So I'll have to check that one out. And then picked up both the Big Brother and the Holding Company early albums, right? This is the first one, I believe. And then, of course, the Robert Crumb cover one, which is awesome. Good picture of her on the back. I like that. Cosmic. Okay, and we got John Mayall, Empty Rooms. And John Mayall, USA Union. Nature's Disappearing. 10 ways you can help fight pollution while there is still time. Okay, and then we had a batch of Allman Brothers. So I picked up Allman Brothers, Brothers and Sisters. Allman Brothers and Beginnings. I have a copy of this, but it's pretty wrecked. So I was hoping this one would be better. Looks like it might be. Okay, and these last two are the ones that made me drool, okay? The Allman Brothers at Fillmore East. So this is the one that includes the 22-minute, 40-second whipping post. How much time I got? 6 minutes, okay. Man, I remember hearing whipping post for the first time while I was mopping the floors at a little mom and pop grocery store I worked at in Milwaukee while I was going to school. And I ended up just standing in the aisle listening to it. And I'm like, oh my God, this song is amazing. What is this? And it just kept going and going and going. I'm like, that moment is like totally etched in my memory. I almost bought that album the other day for like $22 or something like that. And I'm like, So to find it for $1 was amazing. And then last but not least, Blue Cheer. What the hell is this one called? Vincibus eruptum or something like that. I've never actually seen this one out and about, but and I probably wouldn't have picked it up, but I listened to this on Spotify as part of my 1001 albums you have to hear, and it's freaking awesome. So when I saw this one, I'm like, totally taking that. So yeah, that's it for now. Since I did these trips, I did sell yet another portrait, so I'll probably be heading at some point down to get some more. But that's it for now. Oh, and I keep toying with getting to 100 subscribers, which I'm not actively like pursuing, but keeps happening. I'm keeping up like to 97, and then it's down to 94, and then 98, and then 96, and 92, and then, you know, I keep like in that same 10 range, and I know it's because I'm not making videos very frequently anymore, but I do appreciate everyone who watches, and I'm trying to catch up with watching everybody else's, and man, it's just, there is some such great stuff out there, and I'm like, oh, I'm so jealous of all this stuff that's getting picked up. So I really enjoy watching that stuff. So one more final count here for the Hipgnosis total, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 new Hipgnosis albums. Yeah, so updating the tote board. Thanks for watching, and talk to y'all next time. See ya.